Hey, it's Jeremy and Whitney with Qolsys. We wanted to help you understand how to install the IQ Security Kit. Really simple, should go really quickly, so follow along. And of course, if you aren't sure what to do, all you gotta do is press pause, rewind it a little bit, and watch it again. So to start out, what we're gonna do is we're gonna show you what we've got. So we've got the IQ Security Kit here. Okay, hold that. I've also got our table stand and wire kit. That's sold separately, but really handy if you're doing a DIY install or if you just want to have that install on a countertop. Okay? And the last thing I have is a mini micro screwdriver kit. So that'll help us in a few of the steps. So we're going to start with opening up the box. Okay? We're going to show you what's inside the box here. We have inside, of course, the IQ panel itself. Hold that, my lovely. We've got 4 mini door window sensors. Those are small enough you can put them on any door, window, safe, medicine cabinet, refrigerator, yeah, wherever you want. We've got the doorbell sensor. That's great for installing inside your doorbell. We'll talk about that when we get to the installation on that. The motion sensor, of course, the power supply for the panel, and then the IQ tilt for your overhead garage door. So let's start with how to install and wire up the IQ panel. All right, so we're going to start with installing the stand and the wire. I've got a screwdriver here. We're going to remove the top screw here on the top of the panel, and that allows us to remove the back plate. So it's a very small screw. Easy to take out, but it's very small, so we don't want to lose that. Keep that safe. Okay. Remove the back. You can either grab from the edge or pull from here, whatever you want. Once you've done that, back plate pops off right there. Next, we're going to take our wire, untie, and we're going to route it through the thing. Now, you need to pick which is positive and which is negative. I've heard lots of arguments over which, what people think is positive or negative, the line with the stripe or the line without the stripe. In this case, it's a white wire. This stripe is making the wire semi-black, so I think, okay, black is going to go to negative. Line is kind of like the negative terminal. So I'm going to put that in the negative terminal and screw it in place. I'm going to do the white wire as my positive wire. You also want to make sure that you connect the battery in place. And then I put this through the back plate. Now I need to put these on my transformer, or power supply. It's not a transformer. Black line is what we chose as our negative, so I'm putting that on the negative side there. So, voila, screwed them in place, all done. So the battery's plugged in, power's plugged in. I'm going to close up the top and put our screw in place. Okay. Next, the table stand. You'll notice the table stand has this little notch out of it. This notch is used for the strain relief. That way, if a panel falls off the table or things like that, it won't actually pull the wires out of the terminals. So I'm going to line this up with the holes on the top of the panel here. I'm just going to click it into place, and voila, my panel is ready to go, sitting at the perfect angle, and we can power it up. Just plug it in.
I got it.
You got it? Okay. While that's powering up, we are going to install some of our other devices. And you can choose to install these before you pair them with the panel, or you could choose to pair them with the panel and then go install them, whichever way you want. Looking at these devices themselves, though, you'll see that the mini door window sensor, for example, has double batteries. You can see if you lift this off, take a look at this antenna design. We've done a really good job raising the antenna off the board. This not only gives us better range, and this has got just as much range as a full-size sensor, but it allows you to put it on any surface because the antenna part of it is actually up inside the cover. Normal sensors put that antenna cover, or that antenna on the inside next to the door, which not only limits the range, but it also eliminates your ability to put it on like metal doors. So this one can actually go on anything. So I'm just going to put the top there. I'm going to pull these battery tabs out. And we've also included a rare earth magnet. That magnet lines up with this little triangle right here on the sensor. That's where you put it in. That's where the reed switch is, for those of you that are technically savvy. And because it's a rare earth magnet, you can get as far as a 1-inch gap on this sensor and give you lots of space, so it really becomes flexible for a variety of installation circumstances. We include 2 pieces of adhesive here. The larger adhesive, of course, goes on the sensor itself, and you'll notice that there's a cutout on the back of the sensor. This is a tamper switch, so if you wanted to install it and put a screw in the wall with the back plate there, then if someone were to try and rip that off, it would tamper the sensor automatically. Just an extra measure that if you wanted to do that. So you can see that fits nicely on there. They're nice die-cut adhesives. Installing this sensor is really easy. We're going to show you how to do this. So the IQ Mini door window sensor, super small. Because of its raised antenna, you can put it on any surface. Now this particular surface is just wood. You typically want to put the sensor on the side that's not opening and closing, just because as you open and close the door, if it slams or whatever, it eliminates the amount of space or movement or things in the sensor. So I'm going to take the sticker off of this, peel it, just stick it right in there in place. Now if you notice, there's a little triangle here. Come over here and take a look at this. So if you look at this little tiny triangle here, that triangle is where you want to line the sensor up with it. And I just peel this off, and as long as I get it close, it's going to be able to do it. Now that's a really big gap. Other sensors typically would not be able to have a gap that big. I mean, I can just put my whole finger in there. But this is still going to work because it's using a rare earth magnet there that still has enough pull that it can hit that reed switch. And when I open and close it, it works just fine. Okay, then I'm going to show you the tilt sensor. The tilt sensor is for your garage door. It goes with the stripe side down. Basically, you can either screw it in, if you'd like. Remember to take the battery tab off. Or you can do adhesive. But it goes on your garage door just like that. And when your garage door lifts up, then it sends a signal to the panel.
Is it better to put the tilt sensor at the top of the garage when it's down, or at the bottom?
Absolutely at the top, because if it's down on the bottom, then what happens?
It would have to be all the way.
Yeah, it would have to get all the way up to that point where then it would finally trigger. So, I mean, it's possible it could through rattling or whatever, but I wouldn't trust it. Let's pair a sensor with the IQ panel. So I'm going to go into settings. I'm going to go into installation, then security sensors, and I'm going to auto learn a sensor. And to auto learn a sensor, all you do is open and close it. Now you can see it says sensor 7A blah 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 is that you can check the back of the sensor to make sure that's accurate. And do you want to continue? I click OK, and it pulls up all the information. If I want to customize any of this information, I can do it now. Otherwise, I can just click Add New. I do that for each of my sensors, so I'll pair each one with the panel. You can also, instead of opening and closing it, you can also tamper a sensor. So for example, with the tilt, it detects it when I pulled the cover off because it hit the tamper switch. So again, whether you decide to open it or close it or tamper it. So again, I click OK. In this case, I'm changing the sensor type from door window down to a tilt sensor. When I select tilt, it automatically defaults garage tilt as my name. If I want to customize that, I could click that and choose a custom description. And then use the keyboard. So I'm going to do that right now, and I'm going to change this description to overhead garage door. So now when this opens and closes, overhead garage door open. It knows it, and it uses the name that I chose for it. Okay? I can use a motion sensor not just for armed away, but motion sensors are great for triggering automation too. So if I wanted to use this to say when motion detected, turn on a light, or when motion detected, you send me a notification, things like that. You can use it for any number of things. I actually have one of these downstairs in my food storage because I also have a Z-Wave light switch there. And when I walk inside that dark room, the motion sees me, turns on the light for me. I don't have to be groping around waiting for the switch. It just turns it on for me automatically. So it's really nice to have these all over the place. Again, the tabs are inside there, so I want to pull those out. The other way you can learn in a sensor is you can learn it in manually. So I can use the code on the back of the sensor. It's the DL code, okay? And I can go to Add Sensor and just type in that DL code. So Whitney, this code is B as in boy, C as in cat, 5, B as in boy, 4, 0. And once I've done that, I can change the sensor type to motion, and it gives me names. In this case, we're going to call this the family room motion detector. And I'm going to click Add New, and voila.
Now these also are pet friendly?
Yeah, so this is pet friendly up to 80 pounds. So if you've got a giant horse in your house that you keep as a pet,
It'd be a minute.
but it's not going to worry. You're not going to have to worry about your dog setting it off and things like that, which is nice. Any other pet. It also comes with 2 screws there. You'll notice on the mounting of it, you can actually mount them in the corners. So if I wanted to mount it straight, I would mount it in the corner there, or I could mount it there. And then you'll notice here at the bottom, again, these are corner mounted, so it would actually fit inside the corner like this, and you put the screws in at an angle. And you can see that cool little dot right there. See that? Mm-hmm. That little dot makes it so that when you put your screw there, it's already started, and you don't have to worry about it spinning and going crazy. You could also do it straight on a wall, on a surface, and you could use either those or those. Now putting it there angles it straight. Putting it on these bottom ones will angle it down slightly so it's hitting the floor. So, great little sensor. And it's not too large either. I've seen a lot of motion sensors that are really tall and big. This is a nice, I think this is a nice size for it. So, pretty easy. Next, let's talk about the doorbell. The doorbell sensor is really unique because this little device is very similar to our mini sensor. Okay, it looks very similar. It's actually an extended version of it. But with this little wire, we've reprogrammed the board so that this will work with an existing doorbell. So you don't have to worry about replacing the buttons on the front. You don't have to worry about repairing any stucco. You don't lose the chime unit inside the house. You literally take this device, wire it into your existing doorbell chime unit in the home, and you've turned your doorbell into a smart doorbell. So in this doorbell chime unit here, you can see I've wired in the white to the back door, the black to the transformer, and then the red line to the front door. Great for all sorts of automation on your front door. So I've got one of these on my door or in my chime unit, and I've got it so when my doorbell rings, if it's after 6 p.m., it automatically turns the light on for me. So my porch light basically turns on anytime someone comes over after 6 p.m. We've also got a rule set up with an alarm.com exterior camera where if the camera light, or excuse me, if someone rings the doorbell, then it automatically starts the camera no matter what time of day it is, and then it sends me a text message with the video that it took that day. So kind of nice to know who's coming to the door and what they're doing.
You don't need a different button.
No, this little device wires directly into your existing doorbell chime unit, so it's really simple. Really easy. Well, that's the security kit. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope it made a lot of sense. But of course, if you've got further questions, watch our other videos, give us a call at our tech support line. We are more than happy to help you out. Again, thanks a bunch for watching, and let us know if we can help you. All right, what I don't know is if me having the microphone and you standing next to me talking is going to be effective enough. Possibly. Say something lovely for the camera.
Something lovely. Oh, I should have said no. You're welcome.
Okay. Hey, it's Jeremy and Whitney with Qolsys. I'm getting a phone call for you. Nice. Just a tad? Come on. This is not meant for a micro screwdriver. There it goes. Not supposed to be that hard.